welcome back to my channel Wagon Picks. Hope you are all doing great. We are into the 7th tutorial of the JavaScript series, and topic of this tutorial is loops. So the points which we'll be covering in this tutorial are, we will see what are loops, how to define the loops, and second point which we'll be going through is we'll see the types of loops. Those are for loop, while loop, and do while loop. uh, we will see these loops through examples. We'll create a example and see how these loops works. Okay, so to begin with, I already have this base code ready with me, and I am typing my dummy content over here. So here it is getting printed. Now I'll remove this dummy content. I will define my script, which is used to write JavaScript code, and in this we will write our first for loop. Okay, so to be before starting, let me tell you why we use loops. Wherever we require to do some repetitive work, we need loops. Okay, for example, let us consider we have to print number 1 2 3 4 in console. Okay, so for that what we'll do, okay, I will just print 1, then I will print 2, then I will print 3, then I will 4. Okay, what we are doing, we are printing the series 1 2 3 4 on each line in our console. Okay, what this means is when I refresh the page, I got 1 2 3 4. So this is the repetitive work. We are just printing a number which is in series in console. So this type of work can be converted and used loops to display this kind of series. Okay, so to start with, I will take a for loop, and first step in for loop, so this is the initializing process, and this is the syntax. And first step is to initialize. We'll start with a variable whose value is 0, I is smaller than 5. This is the condition and action to be performed. Okay, so what I'm printing I. So now instead of writing this the earlier code line by line, what we'll do is we will just print the we'll have this for loop and print the numbers one by one. So see here, we got the same numbers, series of numbers from 0 to 4. Okay, to ignore the 0, we can start with 1. Okay, now we got the same work. Okay, so this is how for loop works. So what do I how this works, let us understand this. So I have written over here, this is for loop. We have initialized this, and this is the condition, and this is the action. Okay, so when I say let I is equal to 0, I am defining a variable whose name is I, and I'm storing 0 in that. So let me take this variable. This is the variable. Okay, now first value in this is 0. Now after initializing, whatever is next step is it checks the condition. Is I smaller than 0? I value is 0. So this is true. If this is true, whatever is written in the for loop, inside this for loop section, it gets executed. And once this is executed, it comes over here. So to show this in paint, This is getting executed. Now after this condition is checked, it console is printed, whatever action we are required to do. And once the console is printed, the axis goes back over here. Now I is increased to 1. I plus plus, we have seen this, it is increased to 1. Now the value of 0 becomes, now this becomes 1. Okay, now when this becomes 1, the condition is checked. Is I smaller than 5? Yes, it is. So again the steps are executed. Then it comes back to this action, in which again the number is increased to 1. So this time it becomes 2. Now it becomes 2, sorry. So when this is increased to 1, again the condition is checked. Is 2 smaller than 5? Yes. So the console is printed. Again the axis goes back here, and again it is increased to 3. So now it becomes 3. Okay, so 3, again it is checked, it is smaller than 5. Again the steps are executed. Again it comes back. Now when this is increased, it becomes 4. Now again it is checked, it is smaller than 5, it is printed, and this time it is increased to 1 again. Now this becomes 5. Okay, so 5. Now here the condition is not satisfied. I is not smaller than 5, it is greater than 5. So once this condition is not satisfied, this for loops gets break and it comes out. So this is how the for loop works. Okay, so similarly you can, if you want, you can add multiple lines in this. Console.log I plus 10. Okay, see here, 1, 11, 2, 12, 3, 13. So you can add such kind of multiple lines in this. Whatever is written in this will be executed in the loop format, for loop format. So this was all about the for loop. Now let us go and see what is while loop. For while loop, let us take a variable that I equal to 0. We have initialized this to 0, and while condition I is smaller than 5, okay, will print I, and after this step will increase this to 1. Okay, this does the same thing which we did in for loop. So the difference is, in while loop, the condition is checked. If this is true, then the inside steps are executed. Okay, so in our case, I was initialized to 0. Okay, first the condition was checked, it is true, so the value 0 will be printed, and then it will be increased to 1. When it is increased to 1, it goes back to this while condition, it is checked again, and now it is 1. 1 is smaller than 5, this is true. Again the condition is, the console is printed, again it is increased to 2. So this while loop rotates 5 times, not 5 times, 4 times, and finally the output is generated. So let us see. Okay, here it is the same output which we got earlier. If you want to start from 1, then you can just initialize it from 1. Okay, here is the output. So this is the simple while loop. So you need to be cautious while using while loop, because if this condition is always true, then this will never stop and your application gets hanged. So you need to take care of this condition and write the while loop. So similarly, do while loop. So we'll take different do this while y is smaller than 5. Okay, I think I wrote it different. Do this, right? So this is how do while loop works. I have defined a variable y equal to 0, and I am writing some steps over here. Okay, why? Let us initialize this with let's initialize this with 2. Okay, to just differentiate this with the upper loop. In this what happens is the condition is printed, and then console then sorry, the steps are executed in this section, do section, and then the condition is checked. So difference between the while loop and do while loop is, in while loop the condition is checked first, okay, and then the steps are executed. But in do while loop the steps are executed first, like you can see the first are executed first, and then condition is checked. If the condition is true, again it goes back into the loop. Okay, so to the main difference is this will check the condition first. This while loop will execute at least once. Okay, this as it checks the condition first, and condition might fail at first instance, and this can never be executed. But in do while loop it is that it will execute at least once at the initial time, and then it depends on the this condition. Okay, so let us check this. Okay, this went into, what happened? Okay, we forgot to increase this y. Okay, we need to increase this. Okay, the y is always constant, so it is increasing. So this is what happens. Did you check that the application got hanged because we had not increased the value of y? So what we'll do is we will just stop this. Okay, now we have written the condition over here. So what we'll do, I will run this file again. So I will go to my console and I will see. So just here 1 2 3 4, this is from the first loop, that is while loop. 2 3 4, this is from do while loop. Okay, here on right hand side it shows the line number where this condition is written, due to which this is getting printed. So here 999, and this is 15 15 15. So on line number 9 we have our earlier print. On line number 15 we have second do while print. Okay, so this is all about the while and do while loop. Okay, so there is one more important concept, two more important concept to be learned in for loop. Those are break and continue. Okay, so not only for loop, we also can implement that in while loops. So I will remove this code and will write a for loop. Let I equal to 0, sorry, I is smaller than 5, I plus plus. Okay, we have seen this. Okay, this loop will iterate 5 times. So what we'll do, we'll print this log. I will print the value of I. So we have seen this earlier. What this does is this loop iterates 5 times, and we will be getting 1 2 0 1 2 3 4 5 in our console. But if suppose I want to add some more condition. I want to break the loop in between the iterations. So for example, if the value of I reaches 3, I don't want to proceed further, so we can use a condition over here. Okay, in that case, if I equal to we can use 2, we can also use 3 times. Okay, if I equal to 3, when this is 3, like 0 1 2 3, it gets iterated 3 times, and when the value of I is 3, I will just break. Breaking iterations and break. Okay, so what happened here was, sorry, I was required to enter a flower bracket. So what is happening over here is, instead of printing this series of 0 to 5, what I do is, when the value of I reaches 3, I will break this loop. And so this, the axis comes out of this loop once I value reaches 3. So let us check how this works. So see here, 0, instead of printing this till 5, we got break in between and we came out of the loop. So this is why we use break operation. And similarly, continue, there is one more operation, that is continue operation. So in case, if in any iteration you don't want to you don't want to iterate any specific iteration, like this is getting, the loop is getting iterated 5 times. So if suppose you don't want to iterate the fourth iteration, so what we can do, we can do, let's see. Okay, let us take this 3 only, so the third iteration will not get executed. Okay, so for that, what I have to do is, I will just write it below this. Okay, if I is equal to 3, I will, what I will do, iteration. Okay, and what I will do is continue. So in this scenario, what is happening is, instead of this for loop iterates 5 times. Okay, but when the value of I is equal to 3, that is at fourth iteration, it comes here and the value is satisfied. I when I equal to 3, the we are printing this and we are skipping the next lines which are in this for loop. So once it comes to continue, it goes directly from here to here, it increases and it checks the condition, and again the steps are followed inside the loop. So when it comes, when the value of I is 4, this will not come inside this if, this comes inside the if only when the value of I is 3. Okay, so if we check this in console, see here, the fourth iteration, that was where we were supposed to print 3, it was not printed directly, it got skipped and it went to fifth iteration, that is printing value 4. Okay, so this was all about break and continue, which we will be using in our JavaScript programs. Okay, so hope you got the points, and let me know if you have any questions. I will explain you, if you want some topics to be uh, explained in detail, so I can take some more time and I can explain you in detail. Okay, so thank you for watching this tutorial and have a great day.